Stay tuned for a rather funny story about how I applied to a job. And, well, yeah, you should also stay for doing HTML, right? It's web development time. All right, so in this section here, what we're going to be doing is our last just pure HTML practice. And we're going to be doing that by making a job application that you would see online probably in the early 2000s. Something really junky and fun. So let's come up here and type in job application. You can see now that that changes above. And before we go in, just so you have a better idea of who I am, I once applied to a Rocky Mountain chocolate factory business. I think that's what they were called. And the application, the paper application, was like a Xerox of a Xerox of a Xerox. So it was basically just write whatever you want to down and we'll look at it. And I realized I wasn't going to get the job upon walking on in and seeing the staff. And I just knew it wasn't going to be a fit for me. But I had to fill the application out anyway because I was there. I didn't want to be awkward. So in the section below where it said, list other things about you that would allow us to consider you for gainful employment, I wrote down, I've seen Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory at least 30 times, so I know what goes on in the back room. And then I never got a call back. So I got to say that is probably best. I didn't work there, but management hopefully had a good laugh when they read over my application. So let's get going here. And don't forget, we're going to need some labels for these. And let's go ahead and do our first name. And then we're going to have an input here. And we're going to come in, we're going to have a type, and a lot of this is just going to be text. And that's fine. You could have a lot of these repeatedly. You're not a better developer if if it's all kind of the same looking, that's fine. It's no big deal. So we have to give it an ID because remember, we have screen readers, people who need assistance doing stuff, and you don't want to miss good applicants because your developers have made a mistake. So we're going to have first name right here. And so for the label, don't forget we're going to have for first name. And so we have that right here. And let's see if I can multiply this out. So we have two of these. And you're not going to see anything, but what I'm going to do is, for the sake of brevity, we're essentially going to do this again. Now, if you're copy and pasting like I am, you could be making an error, right? But sometimes that doesn't necessarily mean you're more or less prone if you're copy and pasting, but all I'm coming and doing is changing these things right here. If this was something in React, I might make a component for each of these, so it makes it easier to repeat these kinds of things without mistakes, but we're not. We're just doing basic HTML. So now we have first name, we have input, we could put information there. We have last name, and as you see, I made a mistake right here. I'm used to capitalizing the first letter. Probably because I wrote, typed this on out with a capital L. So just check out and watch out for things like that. You get kind of a sense of where to start and where to go. So for this one, what we're going to do next is we're going to look for age. And so for age, all we need in here is a number. Come up here and change this. All right, we have this right here. It doesn't line up. It doesn't look perfect, but hey, it doesn't matter. So the next thing we're going to need is an address. So we're going to just paste this all over again. Come on down here. We're going to save it as text. But let me see here. Let's see if I remember the command. I think it's if you hold Control down and see where it's flashing right here, and you come up right here. Oh no, that doesn't do it. Is it Alt? There we go. If you hold Alt down, I'm using PC right now. You see I have 2 of these. I think it's the same for a Mac. Somehow when I get on a PC, I forget all the commands for a Mac. You could come on in, and it changes it in 2 different areas, and I think that's pretty cool. Save it. All right. First name, last name, age, address. And then the last one down here, let me exit this out, is we see that we have a label here, and we want to put a text area in, so we're not going to need this input stuff right here. And we have tell us about yourself. And we're just going to go ahead and do reasons for working. And what we're going to want is we're going to have this because we want to have a space between the label and the actual text area, which is what we're going to use. Give it an ID, reasons for working. Tell us why you want to work here. Let's click save. And now we have it. But yeah, they could expand it out, but this looks pretty bad. And so just like our last video where we were doing the example with the missing dog, we could come in here and we could change it. Now you're going to want to do this with CSS, but since we haven't gotten to that yet, let's just do it in pure HTML here. So hit refresh, and then we have that right here, and we are not quite done yet. Let's add another break in there, and then we're going to do an input, and then we're going to do a submit. And so this is a job application that's not hooked up to anything, doesn't look special, doesn't look flashy, but the more time you spend on your keyboard typing this stuff out, the more this is easy, the more it's, you're able to think about it less, and you can actually focus on the more technical aspects of your website. So yeah, this is making a basic junky job application HTML. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next section where I do believe we start the lovely, wonderful world of CSS.